If you could have a tool that helps transform your thoughts and beliefs, would you want to know about it? When you're dealing with food challenges like binging or emotional eating, we can think of approaching it in one of three ways: removing or reducing obstacles from overcoming them, equipping yourself with tools to overcome them, or taking a good look at what environmental factors could be making things better or worse. The tool that I want to discuss in today's video is self-compassion. If you've ever gone to therapy, then you may already be a skilled pro at this. But even if you're familiar with the concept, I think we can all learn from practicing this skill. Hey friends, I'm Christina, and on this channel I talk about lean eating skills and the psychology behind behavior change without restrictive diets or calorie counting, while keeping plenty of fun in life. So self-compassion is something that can make a very big difference in what your life experiences are like and how you feel. If you're the type of person who feels down on yourself or struggles with perfectionism or comparison, keep listening. Even if you don't fit any of those categories, there are lots of other things in life that benefit from a little bit of self-compassion. One great example that comes up pretty often in coaching with my one-on-one clients is how our family of origin or culture affected our body image and our experience with foods that we eat. If you grew up in a household where one of your parents was diet obsessed, or if they spoke about their own body negatively, when those thoughts come up for you in your mind, you might show yourself compassion with a statement like, I really wasn't raised with a healthy concept of body image, so I will need to unlearn some things and figure out how to have a healthy relationship with food since no one really taught me how. Or if you have had a trauma or significant life experience and have learned to use food as a coping mechanism for a long time, it might sound something like, I've had some really difficult things that I've gone through in life, and food was a way that I coped with it for a while. I'm ready to learn some new things, and I understand that it might take me some time, and that's okay. The opposite voice might sound something more self-critical or judgmental, like, I should just know better. I can't believe I haven't figured this out yet. What a joke. We have all internalized messages from our environments we grew up in. Any significant life experiences that we may have had, pop culture, media, they all help to shape the opinions we have of others and the opinions we have of ourselves. Sometimes internalizing these messages and comparing them with our real lived experiences keeps us feeling miserable. Self-compassion is something that you can use when you're feeling down to help you move forward. It helps you stop quitting on yourself, no matter what you're trying to achieve. Not quitting is really the key to overcoming your food challenges. Think of being kind and understanding with yourself like maybe you would with a child or a best friend going through a difficult time, or really any relationship that you value. It's a matter of starting to do this for yourself because you deserve just the same amount of compassion as all of those other people you're willing to show it to. I think oftentimes we get used to showing it to others that we almost run out of it on ourselves. I remember someone showing me a TED Talk by an author named Kristin Neff, and it's about self-compassion. She's got a ton of great tools, but in this TED Talk, she talks about the 3 elements of self-compassion. She defines it this way: self-compassion is being kind and understanding towards oneself rather than being self-critical, seeing one's fallibility as part of the larger human experience, and rather than isolating, and holding one's painful thoughts and feelings in mindful awareness rather than avoiding them or over-identifying with them. So the first part of this definition is self-kindness versus self-judgment. When we suffer, the last thing we need is to be self-judging or ignoring our pain altogether. When we recognize our own pain and suffering as just part of being human, we can then show ourselves warmth and understanding. With many of my clients, and probably lots of you, you're working through some challenging stuff in life. I mean, that's why you're here watching this video, right? As you're working through some challenging things, if you bring in self-compassion, you can neutralize that self-judgment, and then you can approach these challenges and make decisions from a place of love. The same thing is true with sabotaging thoughts. The second aspect of self-compassion is common humanity versus isolation. You can see tangible evidence that you're not alone just by being part of a group, such as breaking up with binge eating. It's easy to go down the path of isolation and self-criticism. When you isolate, you're more likely to get in your head and think, no one feels the way I feel, and then you beat yourself up for not being able to fix it. No one is free from some form of suffering in this life, and having a connection to a community and sharing vulnerably can help be a good starting point. The third part of Neff's definition is mindfulness versus over-identification. This is basically a matter of taking a balanced approach to our emotions. This means you aren't suppressing your emotions. We also don't want to swing all the way to the other side by exaggerating and amplifying our emotions and our own suffering. My therapist has helped me practice getting curious, and I would encourage you to do the same. When we have a negative thought or feeling about food or our bodies, we might say, where did that come from? Is that even true? Is this helping me live the life I want to live, or is it keeping me stuck? What would I say to a friend who is struggling with that thought? We also don't want to just allow passive thoughts and feelings to take over. We can really focus on things going through our minds and take the time to sift through them through a truth and compassion filter. We aren't going to judge it or amplify it or bypass it and just pretend everything's all right. I still feel these feelings, acknowledging the feeling, but having a tender spot for it as well, just like you would with a child. If a child came to you and said, I'm feeling really badly about my body or this friendship I have, you wouldn't immediately judge them. You would hold space for them. You wouldn't tell them, don't feel bad, life is all rainbows and butterflies, because that's not reality either. Kristin Neff also says we cannot ignore pain and have compassion at the same time. And I really think that's true. There are lots of ways these things can manifest if we don't look at them and address them. So the challenge is to be able to look at your pain and suffering, understand that it exists, that it's a normal part of the human experience, but not react to it. Acknowledge that it has a lesson in there somewhere. It's there to teach you something that needs to be looked at without getting swept away in it. So what might this look like in your own life? How well are you tuned into self-compassion? Are you super compassionate to those around you to the point where you've used it all up and you have none left for yourself? Would you like to find out? There's a quiz on self-compassion that I'm going to link in the description. This is all about gaining some more self-awareness. It's not about good or bad. It's just a way to see which areas you are strong in and which areas maybe could use your attention. It's just a place to start. I would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below with anything that just stood out to you from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.